and welcome back from.
I do recognize a lot of faces, no names at all. Yeah. Well, we're very excited about all of y'all enjoying joining us. Am I pointing?
There's a live point.
I'm supposed to be over here, over there. All right.
You're good.
All right. So very excited about everybody joining us. This is our 35th trip. And you haven't been on all of them, right, Scott?
No, I think I started on the second or third.
There you go. So, needless to say, we know how to get there and back. And for those of you that it's your first trip, this is why we say you're in Florida, you need a boat, because you're an hour and a half to 3.5 hours away from some of the prettiest water in the whole world, and we're excited about leading you that way. Captain Allan will get into a lot of the details on how that occurs. I'm about the what. So welcome, and thank you all for coming in.
All right, ready? Ryan, just a heads up, there is another dog here. So, all right, so first thing, which you all should have gotten a lot of blasts coming out from us. If you didn't, some of the emails we received were incorrect, so hopefully you're all caught up. Most important thing, passport. Passport, passport. You need a passport to go to Bimini, all right? There's no way around it. Please don't, pack it, get it in your bag, get it ready to go. Scott, what's the most important thing?
Passport.
Thank you. Well, money, we'll talk about money also, but bring your passport. Up here, I've got the new immigration website. You folks will need to go onto the site and set up a password, enter in all information for everybody going. All right? You do need to have a PCR test 5 days prior to going.
Even with the vaccination?
No. 5 days.
Direct into the page.
Yeah. All the paperwork, I'm going over it. All the paperwork is in the file here, in your pamphlet. I did print one out so that you could have it. And by the way, I got this going, but Cheryl and Haley have really taken the bull by the horns and helped out. So they're standing back there. They will be in Bimini, and they really have helped accelerate everything that we're doing. So thank you, too. Appreciate it. You helped me out. You do need to get on, set up an account. PCR test 5 days prior, not before. Don't pay for the test prior to 5 days. Otherwise, you'll have to pay again when you submit the test. If you did have vaccination and you have a card, you need to scan the card and send it in on there, and you're good to go. All right? So that's very important. Coming back, there's another website. It's called CBP-ROM. It's an app. All right? In the back of this map, everybody should have it in your folder. If it's on your folder, I put it in the buckets. Hopefully it's in there. Not to worry. I put one in personally. It's in everybody's gift bucket that you're going to take with you. In order to come back and clear customs, it is now done by app. You don't need to go down to the customs department or to the Coast Guard or anywhere else. If it's not in there, they're in the bucket. Don't worry, I can pass this around. I've got this one. So I'll send it around. You guys can take a picture and read that, but guarantee you that it's in there for sure. Let's see. Let's talk about what we could do and can't do over there. It's going to be lobster season. No pneumatic guns. All right? You cannot bring a pneumatic and use a pneumatic spear gun if you're going hunting. You need to use a sling. All right? Rubber band, Hawaiian sling. That's it. Another thing that they frown upon is if you see it on the ocean bottom, leave it on the ocean bottom. All right? You get stopped, you got your own take-home shells. It's not going to be fun. Scuba. Go ahead. Hit on it.
No lobster with scuba. No anything with scuba. The slogan is the only thing that you can take with scuba are photos. Scuba and fishing or spear fishing of any kind doesn't go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you could.
So don't have dead lobsters and scuba tanks in your boat at the same time.
Yeah. You can use scuba gear, but not for hunting.
Brownie's good.
Brownie's good. The things like I said, so I
That was
forgot I had
very
to
good.
stand in front of the camera here. That they was, they heard me. I know my voice carries, so I know they heard me. So that's very important. I'd like to hit on that, early. Everybody, if you're leaving family at home or, traveling, float plan. File a float plan with a friend, a neighbor. When you get there, send them a text, send them an email, let them know that you got there safely. Granted, we will be in a group of 25 boats going, possibly 26. We're waiting to see. We're all going to stay together, but Saturday when it's time to come home, you guys might want to get up and go. Tell somebody else, either on the dock, one of us, or call somebody at home and tell them, hey, I'm leaving the Bimini now. I should be home in 3 hours. All right, yes.
Well, you mentioned send somebody a text saying that you got there. Did you plan on talking about things like cell service and Wi-Fi
Yep.
and everything? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Scott and I have done this before, and he's got a lot of information that's.
I'm going to
Yeah.
be chiming in. I don't mean to be rude.
Yeah,
I just want to make
yeah.
sure that everybody
No,
knows.
you're good.
Setups, right?
Cell service has been really pretty much better there lately. It's not great, but T-Mobile seems to work the best. So if you got T-Mobile, you're really good. If you call them up, ask for the international plan, it's actually free. You don't pay for any additional roaming, text, or anything like that. Just phone calls. So, and it's really inexpensive. I think they give you the first half hour at no charge. Most of our communication on the island, if an event changes or something is going on, if we get rained out from our excursion day and we change it to the next day, we're going to email you. When you're in the hotel, you've got perfect access to email and internet and everything else. That's pretty important. You want to make sure you're getting those emails from us and stay connected the best you can.
Just one final thing on that. Everybody check with your provider. And most of them have an international plan. It could be $10 a day, and it could just be a reduced rate for data usage, which could get really, really expensive. So just know before you go.
Before we leave, you guys should get your boat service or know what's needed. I highly recommend that everybody for their boats, you got one engine, bring a fuel filter. You got 3 engines, bring 3 fuel filters. Lately, we have had no issues with fuel there. They've been so busy on the island that it's cycling right through, so all the fuel's been pretty good. But listen, it does happen. If you've got a generator, either a Westerbeek or a Kohler or something like that, get the information off of it. We are bringing a mechanic with us. He could work on your boats. He could replace an impeller. We could do a lot of stuff on the fly there. So make sure that you know what type of generator you have. Get an impeller for that generator. We're going to be anchoring up. Honeymoon Harbor is going to be one of the stops. Honeymoon Harbor, it gets shallow in there. Could suck up some sand, ruin the impeller, but we'll be equipped to replace that without a problem. So make sure you bring that, fuel filters. If you want, you could bring yourself an extra prop. We haven't had any issues over the years. I go out and around and come back into the Sapona. It's really safe. It's deep water. We haven't had any issues there, and I'll do the same for Honeymoon Harbor. I'll show you how to get in there safely. You follow me, pay attention, we'll have no issues. While I'm talking about that, inside your buckets, there is also a map that I put on the back of that CBP ROM. The inlet kind of changed. It all moved south. So follow me in, all right? I was there not too long ago. The markers and buoys have not been moved, but I happen to have the inside scoop on how to get in nice and safely. So please pay attention to that. There is a local shortcut. If you see a boat go through that, they're a local, and they might only draft 1.5 feet of water, and you're drafting 3. Not going to work because it's really shallow. Follow me in. Stay in the cut. The cut, you could see. The water over there is Windex blue. I promise you, you'll be able to see it. It's cut sides on both. You just stay in the center, all right? Either side of that, 1 foot of water. So just heads up on that.
A couple of years ago, there was a shift where the channel moved and the marker moved. So if you looked at your GPS and you looked like you were in the channel on your GPS, you were out of the channel. So it's kind of a combination of your GPS and your common sense. So if you're going through that channel on the way into the hotel by yourself, use the common sense version, not the GPS in front of you version.
Is that a soft bottom or a hard bottom, Al?
That is a hard bottom. So it is hard. You don't want to make contact with that. We did have 2 years ago,
Yeah,
two
two
boats.
boats ran hard aground at speed and waited, both of them had to wait 7 or so hours for tide to go out.
Yeah.
To
Luckily,
slow
no
down.
prop damage, no hull damage, but
Those
they
were
were
both soft groundings. They were
Yeah.
on the soft.
Yeah, they were on the
They were soft over there.
west side.
They both
Yeah.
were soft, yeah.
very lucky. But you could see that cut. I mean, it's really, right in front of you. Once you follow me in and out of there, and if you're using tracks on your GPS, your Garmin or whatever, Furuno, whatever you have, follow those tracks again. Generally, it'll be the safe spot to be. All right. I don't think they put all the channel markers back in from the storm like 7 years ago. So they were sitting by the airport last time we were there 2 years ago, I believe, by the airplanes there. So let's just be careful with that. In your buckets, we did a really nice bucket this year. Everybody's got shirts. Your shirts are more of an aqua color. The team, Shay, myself, Rob, Cheryl, we'll be in like a blue shirt. It'll say crew on it or whatever our position is. We're there to help you out. But just way, if you're walking around, you happen to see us, forget our name, hey, you work for us. You could ask that question. Everybody's got shirts. Mitch did them for us this year. He's awesome. So if you guys have boats, you want your picture of your boat on, you'll do that, right? 6 dozen at a minimum. 6 dozen But thank you, Mitch. I appreciate that.
Do we have a question in the back? Nope.
Now, in your buckets also are your flags and tie wraps. So going in to Bimini, before we go into the channel, you need to put in your quarantine flag. Put it up. I also recommend you put up your Bahama flag. Just as nice to do. Keep your American flag up. It's cool if you want to put on your antenna. If you don't have a spot, tie wrap it on. There's extra tie wraps. I'm bringing extra flags. A couple years ago, a lot of people lost them. They flew off. Got to have these flags on your boat. This one does not come off the boat until we clear customs. All right? Once you clear customs, you can take it off your boat. Great thing, Cheryl was able to work it out. They're going to be in the hotel this year. Customs, immigration, and hotel registration. We're going to have a private room upstairs. We'll be able to go in, clear customs, do everything, get into our rooms, and etc. Questions? Now, and everybody did make room reservations. If you're,
What if you're staying on your boat?
you're good. You still have to clear customs and immigration.
You still have to
Check
go into the hotel.
Yeah, you still have to go into the hotel and still have to keep your flags up.
Can I derail for just a minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, can everybody raise their hand that's never made this trip before? Does anybody feel better about going for the first time now?
Yes.
Okay, so most everybody's never really done this before. It's really, really easy. Don't be afraid to ask questions. What I also want to do is, I want to just before, next up, this yellow flag, they call a quarantine flag. Going into the Bahamas is relatively easy. Coming back into the States is a whole other matter. The law, going into the Bahamas, nobody knows what the law is. The Bahamians aren't patrolling. There's no real infrastructure. Let me see your passport. Let me see your PCR test. Let me see your money. Have a nice trip. Coming back into the States is a little bit more of a process. The flag needs to be flown at the 5-mile mark. So when you get to Bimini and you come in the cut, you can put your flag on. When you are on your way back to Florida, stop 5 miles out or 8 miles out and put your flag on and don't take it down. The next thing I wanted to do in this derailment, Alan, and thanks for indulging me, is I thought it might be a good idea if we could just kind of go around the room and introduce each other ourselves and say, hey, this is my boat, this is my crew, this is my name, this is where I'm from. Let's get to know each other a little bit. Would you mind if we take a little
Go for it.
intermission
Go for
here?
it. Go.
I'll start, but maybe it's better if we do kind of do a rim shot. I mean, we had Shay. Would you mind starting, sir?
Go ahead, Josh.
Tell us.
Sure. How are you? I'm Josh Dotoli. I'm either going to go on my new Chris Craft Catalina, which is supposed to come Tuesday, or I'm going to go with Mitch Starr on the Pug Boat. So either way,
That makes me Mitch Starr. I have the Pug Boat. It's right outside. First one in service. Hopefully getting it back tomorrow. Right, Joe?
Mike's back there.
Mike's
We'll get back to you.
Mike, I got plans for
Joe's-
the weekend.
Joe's diligently
So,
working at his desk.
Regal 29 OBX and that LX6 back there used to be mine.
I'm Ron Weinberg, and I'm Mitch Starr out the Pug Boats cast. First mate. I'll be first mate.
There you go.
Throw a few things around.
I thought he was Stuart.
I'm
Fine,
Mitch
too.
Kaplan. I have a Everglades 340, and this will be my first trip. Hopefully, my wife will join me. She's not here tonight.
Okay.
Okay, I have a Regal 26 XO. My wife will do
What's the name of your boat?
aquatherapy too.
Aquatherapy Roman numeral 2? Nice.
And we christened it.
That's right.
Yes, we did. We're gonna christen yours.
Jim Greer, I've got a 2-week-old Everglades 395. I've probably done the trip 20 times over the years, so it's not fun. And I'm going with my wife, my brother and his wife, and then another couple.
Who's next?
Saul Yarmish, I have a 420 sedan bridge. See what, honey, I'm home with the name of the boat, Sea Race that much. My wife will be coming with me, she's not with me.
Got the dog papers all squared away?
Yes.
Good. All right, cool.
Don't have my papers squared away.
I'm Sherry, I'm with the Godi Cruise crew. She has a 26 Regal OBX, and it will be our first trip. All females.
Nice. Awesome.
My name is Eileen Edwards. My husband Michael, my son, and my daughter will be traveling on our Everglades 340 in Tokyo, and it's our first trip.
Awesome.
My name's Ross. I'm a co-captain of my dad's boat. It's a Sea Ray 280. It's named Flying Saucer 2. And I'll be joined with him, my mom, and my 2 sisters.
Excellent.
Ryan, how are you? Perfect timing, getting his mouth full. I see you.
My name's Paul Pruitt. It's my first time out. I got a 32-foot Regal. My crew, I guess Mutiny, they're not here, but hopefully they'll be joining me. And it's all of our first time, so we're all looking forward to it. So.
Greg, you want to go?
Yeah, Greg Weinstein. Have a 340 DC, and I'm going to be joined by my wife and my 8-year-old and 10-year-old boy and boys, and should be great as long as the kids get along. I've never seen anything like it. One of them's going over at some point during the trip. So we'll see. Either that or I'm going over.
You could just come with us.
Yeah.
Good. Who wants to go next?
Oh,
Yeah.
my name is Mario. I want to travel with my wife. It's the first time. We had a Regal 28.
So I'm Alex Brodo. This is my first crossing on a 290 Wellcraft Coastal, not too naughty, is her name. And I'll be traveling with my son and a few friends.
Justin.
I'm Bill Porter, this is my son Wayne, another son Kyle, we're joining us, my oldest son, we've got a 295 Everglades called Sine Wave. I am a generator dealer, so if you need Kohler parts, call Don Hillman Inc.
All right.
I'm Jim Daly. I have a 26 XO. We just bought it. My wife Maria will be coming with us. So
And I will.
she'll be
Yes,
coming with us.
Ari will be with us.
First time, boat's named finally, or will be eventually when I get the stickers put on. So we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, we finally got our boat. It's always.
I've been shopping for a boat for almost 20 years. So
Congratulations. Good job, Carrie.
Serge?
Sergio Lopez, riding on a Regal 38 XO, second crossing, and we'll be joined with my wife.
Okay, my name is
David Solberg. This is my wife Esther. She's going to be my crew. So just going to be the two of us. We'll be coming with a 33 Regal XO. First trip. So looking forward to it.
All right. I'm Captain Allan. It's my first trip. So. Oh, yeah.
I wanted to introduce Alan, Cheryl, Haley, Ashton, who really have put all the logistics of the awesome time we're all going to have is thanks to these four people for all the great efforts. Anything that goes wrong is 100% my fault. Scott has my phone number. So I just want to, if everybody could give these gals it will be a good time. It'll be a great time. Nobody's going to run aground. It's not going to rain. It's going to be a perfect time. Ryan's our sales manager, and you know, he'll be waving at us from the dock. So sorry, that's all right.
All right. Can I go?
You may proceed.
That was a hell of a derailment. By the way.
Anybody? Any questions that occur? Anybody?
That's a question.
Under average time. So.
Where's customs back in the States?
So that email, the CBP ROM, that's on the back of the map page. Set this up. It's an app. It's for everybody's phone. Just set up the app. You don't have to go down there anymore. You do it. Basically, put in your information, your passport numbers, and all that. You just hit send. And next thing you know, you get a phone call back from the Coast Guard, and they clear you. So it's really easy.
Each person has to do it. You can't do multiple on one.
No, it's got to be. You could do up to 5. You can do up to 5 people on one.
Okay.
So, yes.
Any issues with drones?
No. Bring drones. There was. Yep.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
There is one section because of the seaplanes that
Oh.
come in and out. There's no drone
Right.
section.
In the channel going in is also the channel for the seaplanes, so you can't use drones there. You could use them on property. You could use them Honeymoon Harbor, Sapona, out in the ocean, Turtle Rock, the beach, anywhere else. That one strip where we go in, we actually share with seaplanes. So that's the only restriction. Thank you I forgot all about that. When we check in upstairs, everybody's going to be given one of these wristbands. This gets you into the cocktail party. This gets you into the buffet, and it gets you into the last night dinner. In the past, we've had people try to crash, so I didn't pick the color, but I'm good with it. I could wear pink any day. You guys will need to use that, even though by that time, I'm going to know most of you. Most of you right now, since we went around, have introduced each other, but the first night there, first evening, you'll see in your itinerary, we're going to have a really nice cocktail party. They were nice enough to provide us with a room inside that's air conditioned. So it'll be really pretty cool, and most of you people know each other, so we'll have a good time. Things to bring, along with all the other engine parts, bug spray. You're going to want to bring bug spray. Yeah, they don't like me. I could stand in the middle of all of you. I won't get bit once. So, but you guys may need to bring some, either those wristbands that they sell are really pretty good, or bring some bug spray with you. Usually from dusk to dawn, you could get pretty bitten up. Boat prep, you guys, when you get home, I don't want to take up a ton of time. Well, actually, before I get into the boat prep, Mike Nance is our service manager. So if anybody is feeling like they need to get service done before we leave, call up Mike. We'll get you in that jump spot. We'll get your boat service for you. If you're close to needing your oil changed, call them up. Let's get that oil changed. Let them look through it. Let's make sure everything's good. How many hours are on your boat?
We just finished. We just had one of your guys.
Okay.
20 hours.
All right.
Who has bottom pan on their boat? All right. Just make sure you get a good cleaning on that. It makes your fuel efficiency go way up. You know.
Yeah. Fuel, speed, everything else. Yeah. That's a good thing to do. But there's some things in here. So go through all this information. You do need a Coast Guard decal, a vessel decal, so the information is there. Cheryl put that together. If the decal does not come in time, just bring the receipt. You're good with it. It's a little tiny U.S. Customs sticker. You do need to have one, so the information is in there as well.
Is there a size minimum on the user fee decal?
I don't think there was a size minimum. No, there wasn't. There's a.
I heard a lot of 26s in the room.
Yeah.
And I don't know that the user fee decal applies to them. I'm asking.
Honestly,
don't-
I'm sorry.
I don't have that answer. I don't believe that there is. I think if you're cruising, you need to have it.
Is that why you say get a customs decal here?
Yeah.
Is that in the middle of the page?
Yep. All right.
They're like $35 or something.
20. Yeah, not even.
What's that?
Yeah, it's really $27.50. Yeah. On the island, if you want, or prior, if you guys want to rent a golf cart, there's the information's in your folder. There is a curfew. So the curfew really doesn't include the hotel. If you're on hotel property, you can stay out all night. You can do anything you want. The casinos are open. The new beach club is open. You can wander around. If you are caught off property after 7 p.m., like in town,
It's still daylight.
yeah, it is. There is a fine. So, and folks, that's a full disclosure. It may change by August 1st. We'll wait and see.
How much
I
is the
mean,
fine if it changes?
500.
If it changes, I think a ticket.
Don't worry, Ron.
500. Yeah. Mitch will pay for everybody's fine if we all go out, but we all have to go out together. Yeah, if you want to show off your boat, want people to come and visit, you're serving cocktails, well, you can put this up. There's some tie wraps on the back, so you guys will make friends, and hopefully those friendships will last a long time through many boats. The different colored page here is the itinerary, so you guys could scan that. We are leaving out of Port Everglades Tuesday, 8 a.m. Are we doing a wedding first? There's a potential for a quick wedding that I will be officiating, so that's Rob who works with us, and yeah, so. Yeah, so.
No, I'll talk to everybody.
So that will be a quick 10 or 15 minute delay, but we'll see how all that lays in there. But throttles will be down between 8 and 8:15. We only go as fast as our slowest boat. Guys, spread out. If I'm cruising along, don't ride my wake and do one of these and pay attention. 2 years ago, remember the kid kept cutting me off? Right in front of me, he wasn't paying attention. He was all over the place like that, and who knows? So,
How do you go one the front like a
Yeah.
triangle? Or
Yeah.
how is the way that you go?
so I'm gonna try to lead as fast as I can, or lead the way. Spread out though. We got plenty of room. Stay in visible sight. All right. We're gonna be. Give me 1 second. We're going to be on channel 69, and that's in the paperwork also. Channel 69 will be our channel we're going to use. On the way over, or prior to that, I'll speak to the harbor master. He's usually on channel 10 when we go in. He's got a list of all the boats. He'll call you in and give you your slip. Okay? Ryan.
My name's Ryan. I'm the sales manager here. I've made a few crossings with large groups. I've been in the front, I've been in the middle, I've been in the back. If everybody here can just imagine a perfect freeway where you don't have any mergers and everybody's going the same speed, that's what you're aiming for. If you are riding somebody and then you slow down, we don't have brake lights on boats. And so you're not gonna notice, and then the guy in front of you is gonna slow down and he's gonna fall off plane. And it becomes a ripple effect that will make your 1 mile long worm of boats 5 miles long, because people are slowing down. So just keep the good distance and keep a nice comfortable speed. It's 2 hours away. If you go faster, it's 1 hour and 55 minutes, right? So I mean, you don't really make up that much time, right? So like just enjoy your speed and just make sure the guy in front of you is about where they should be. They shouldn't be getting smaller. They shouldn't be getting bigger, and you all have a much better time.
Is there any rule, the big boats on the front, on the back, the small boat, nothing? Any preference? No.
Well, it's not front and back. In my opinion, what I would do if I had a small boat, I would go 300 yards off to one side or 700 yards, so long as you can see the pack of boats, we're all gonna funnel in together at the same time.
Okay.
So I would just grab myself a nice piece of water all to myself with nobody's boat wake. Now, granted, if it's rough and you feel more comfortable behind a bigger boat's boat wake, you make a game time decision. Incidentally, two things about the morning of. One is the lead boat is on the radio. The handle is SunDance Marine Everglades, at least until further notice. This is a 43-foot Everglades that's blue on the sides, so you'll know what boat to look for, and you can raise us on Channel 69, SunDance Marine Everglades. Another thing is, on the morning of, at 7:45, there's going to be a roll call. So be on Channel 69, and what we'll do is we'll go down the list, and we'll check off and make sure that everybody that we are expecting to be at the inlet at that time is with us, so that we know we can depart, and we know we have X number of boats, so we can keep an eye on these boats. Another thing is, this particular Everglades, those Everglades owners in the room can appreciate this, they don't like going slow very well. They prefer to kind of go 10 miles an hour faster than your brain would tell you to go. So if you see the lead boat getting way down there, don't worry for two reasons. Number one, we've got radar and we're spotting all the boats and keeping track of the number that we left with. And number two, we will keep you in visual contact, which usually means we're going to stop and sit there and wait for 15 minutes until the slow pack starts to catch up before we hit it again.
If you do that, I'm getting on Bill's boat.
You might as well get on Bill's boat now.
We do have a chase boat also this year. There will be, our mechanic is going to be on the last boat. He'll be taking up the stern. So you got coverage at both ends. And usually if somebody's having an issue, we stop as a group. We're going as a group. We'll make a decision at that point, whether that person has to turn back and what happens or tow. But we try to stay together as a group. That's how we're leaving. That's how we should stay. So 2 years ago, we had a whole group that just took off. Really wasn't fair to everybody else. Let's try to stay together and be fair to everybody.
So what is,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir.
no, what is the standard speed that you go, 25, 30?
It
Depends on the weather and everything.
It
right?
depends on weather, it depends
Those
on
are
wind,
real-
it depends on how fast my largest boat, the largest vessel that's going with us, can make time.
If
All
we
right,
were
I
going
wanted to
by
be
ourselves,
yeah.
if we were going by ourselves, it'd probably be around 32, 33 miles an hour.
Right.
But we're not going by ourselves.
Yeah, I'm thinking 20, I'd like to make 24 to 26 knots the whole way. At that point, it'll be 2 hours and 15 minutes, roughly, depending on current and everything else.
If you go faster, just more out.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know I was taking that boat, but I'm happy I could do that. No problem.
Subject to change.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say too that,
Yep.
10 days out from the trip, we'll be sending an email out with a little bit more information, with a picture of the boat. And then again at 3 days, so everybody can watch the weather and you know what's all going on together. So, and if you could please check your spam or junk mail, because we've had a few people that said they didn't receive stuff and it was in their junk mail. And so just be on the lookout 10 days before, 3 days before.
What time do you want everyone at the inlet then?
So
7:30.
I'd get there by 7:30. Is there anybody that's not leaving out of Fort Lauderdale? Is everyone gonna? So you guys gonna drive up or what's?
Well, we were talking about that, we're not entirely certain yet.
Where are you? What's your?
We're up at Boca.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah, we're not that far away.
you got to come past us either way.
No, no,
Yeah.
Well, I can come out of Hillsborough. Can we,
Yes,
what
sir.
can we do here? Can we do something here?
Yeah. Where in Boca are you?
I'm at
East.
east.
By the
Canal-
inlet?
You know what Canal
Right by the inlet.
Marina is?
So just
Yeah,
pull back the inlet.
of course.
What do you mean by do something here?
Pinellas Park, Pinellas Marina?
Yeah.
That's right
Right
there.
Yeah. And you're only 20 minutes away.
Yeah, that's right
Yeah.
there.
I'll work out something. Yes.
All right, yeah.
We also have slips here, so if you want to stage.
I've already 4 are gone already.
Right, so if you want to stage, limited amount of space, we have 17 spaces.
Right.
Now we're down to 12 or 11, so
Right.
if you want to stage here, you can. You can bounce out of Hillsborough, meet us at Port Everglades.
Yeah. I'm leaving out of Hillsborough with our boat.
Okay?
I'm just gonna leave early.
So I spoke to your wife. You guys were coming down the night before. I believe.
I don't know, she didn't make a decision, if she did, she didn't tell me.
Yeah, so, newsflash, you were gonna come down the night before, and dock up at our place, your boat was one of the boats, so. I've got 30 and 50 amp service there, and you can stay right there. So, whoop, maybe.
Then
I wanted to say,
you'll meet up with us as we're all
illegal
leaving
to
at the
dump
same time.
placard?
We're leaving from that marina.
Is placard
And
illegal
going
to
out
dump?
Hillsborough and then.
Every boat has it.
That's correct.
Every boat has
I've
one.
never seen it on there.
What type of boat do you have?
The 33 XL.
You have it. It's on that boat. It's either in the garbage door. You open up with the garbage.
Okay.
It's right in there. It's a white placard. It says
It's not down there
illegal.
by the dump valve. Then.
It could be if you open your hatch. It might be in there. They put it in two different
I
spots on
think
that
it's in
boat.
the galley in the.
Yeah.
in the door where
Yeah,
the
I think
garbage
it's
is.
on the inside of where the garbage can is. It's a white placard. It says no dumping. You got to be 3 miles off for waste, 12 miles off for oil, grease, things like that, which hopefully nobody does, and garbage. So, yeah.
I just have a new, I only go 21 to 22, depending on.
And that's how fast we'll go.
Depending on what the wind is gonna push me.
Right. That's fine. And that's how fast we'll go. We only go as fast as our slowest boat. You're fine. Be okay.
I hear a lot about weather window. Is there a weather condition that says we're not going or are you doing?
At this point, we don't have, I'm anticipating fabulous weather. I had my boss call somebody up, he ordered flat seas, no rain. So, listen, we'll wait until 3 to 4 days before it, and then we'll decide how that's all gonna go. So I'm not even gonna worry about it. The last couple of years we crossed, we've had great weather. You know, for me, 1 to 3 is really fine for anybody's boat here. So, look over the itinerary. If there's a rain date there, you know, we could change it. I think I said that originally. I don't want to be redundant in this stuff, but you will be contacted by email through Cheryl or myself if for some reason the excursion day gets pushed to another day. So, just keep an eye on that. Keep an eye out for emails like Cheryl said. And what did I forget?
I have a question. Let's clarify on the rain. If it's rainy, windy, and lightning, we will delay. If it's just raining, we're gone.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
So, I wanted to, does anybody carry a firearm on their boat and have any questions about that, or does it need to be discussed? Yes? Okay, so you're allowed to bring firearms, but what I recommend that you do, in fact, make this a slightly larger conversation. Get the serial number on your documents the night before while you're sitting in your living room. Don't try to do it at the dock. We're already tired, it's hot, it might be raining, you're sweating.
So you
You
claim
can't
it.
Yes,
you're claiming
you have
it,
to disclose.
And get the serial number, write it down, and the exact number of rounds of ammunition. And if you're gonna guess high, don't guess low. If you claim that you have 500 rounds and you get stopped and you have 400, where's the 100? You shot him. But if you claim 4 and you have 401, they'll just be confused. They'll take your boat and you to Nassau and lock you up until they can figure out where that extra one came from. It's really an ugly situation. At the same time,
It's okay to shoot them, but it's not.
you can't buy them. You can't buy them there. So the other thing is, the same thing applies for passports. Get all of your guests' passports in your hand before you start your engines in the morning. Get them all, put them in a Ziploc bag, and put them in your briefcase or whatever, because the last thing you want to do is get to the marina and say, everybody give me your passport, I'm going to customs, and somebody goes, it's in my glove box. And then you're screwed. So collect them all at the dock. Yeah. Right, so that's a good tip to do too.
When we went to the Abacos
Yes.
2 years ago, we laminated our registration, because I remember they asked for it. Are they still doing that kind of thing?
They haven't asked, I don't give them registration when I go there. I just fill out my immigration and naturalization stuff. I hand that to them, and that's been it. Last year, when I went with my registration 2 years ago, they didn't even want to look at it. They're like, big deal.
I just
So-
went, Bill, in March, so I just had to write the numbers down.
Yeah, what they do want to know is the size of boat. So if you're going to be fishing or cruising there, you do need to get a cruising permit. It's in that paperwork. They do charge by the size of your boat. So.
Well, we have to get that anyway, right?
Yes. Well, if you're not going to be cruising, just hanging out, you're not forced to. We had people go 2 years ago that sat at the dock the whole time. 42 Fly. What was the doctor? I forget his name. 42 Coupe. Tom Lapley. Tom, one of our customers. He sat at the dock. They didn't make him get one. He just was very comfortable staying there. So and that happened. Actually, a few people just hung out.
Tom's 89 years old.
No, he's 84. And runs his own boat and docks it and ties his lines and does everything. He's pretty impressive.
Remind
So we get that
everyone-
at the docks?
Yeah, sure.
Whatever the cruising permit or whatever, or?
When you check in.
Yeah.
Check in. Okay.
Cash. Bring cash. All right. The government there. Oh,
What he said, there's still two places to do that, right? You can do that at Big Game, you can do that at the.
What?
The Worlds. Check in and get the.
They're bringing people to us. We have a
We're
private
setting it
room.
up, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So
We actually, Cheryl set that up. They'll be in the hotel. We'll go up there. When you do that, master of the ship only. One person.
Everybody else has to stay on the boat.
Everybody else stays on the boat till you come back.
And stay
Clear.
on your boat that you.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Do not leave the boat. Do not take your flag down.
Yeah. Keep your flag up. Pay them. Bring cash. All right. So immigration and everything else has been.
No credit
Um,
cards. None for customs.
Well, not for customs at the hotel, yes. At the dock, yes. At the restaurants, yes. Wherever else, but for immigration, we're still semi-third world. So,
I got a couple more things. One is beware of the price of water. So
50 cents a gallon.
water is very expensive, so use the water in your boat and use the water very sparingly or from the guy next to you if you
Or
can.
bring lots of water.
But yeah, so fill up your water tank on your boat and use it very carefully. If you're just standing there at the end of the day smoking a cigar and talking to the guy in the boat next to you and rinsing your boat down, it's 50 cents a gallon. So when you go to check out from the marina and you see the bill and you say there must be a mistake, it's because you used too much water.
So you use your neighbor's hose?
Yes. The other thing is radio etiquette. For those of us who are rookies with radios or don't know, the general etiquette that I subscribe to is 3 times when you're calling another boat. SunDance Marine Everglades, SunDance Marine Everglades, SunDance Marine Everglades. This is Happy Times 2. Do you read me? Why 3 times? Maybe the stereo's blaring and somebody goes, somebody just call you? I don't know, grab the stereo, and now it's the second time, and then the third time they get you. So 3 times. If somebody asks you to change channels, don't just change channels. Like happy times, please acknowledge and switch to 29. Don't just go to 29, acknowledge, because that person's going to be sitting there on 69 waiting for the acknowledgement. So let's try to get our radio etiquette down so that we can communicate effectively with each other. Okay, good?
So acknowledge means Roger switching 21.
Roger's a good one, yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
Roger, Wilco,
Right.
10-4, all that other stuff, yeah. Let them know that you heard them.
Folks, when you leave this evening, alphabetically over here is a bucket. Most of this stuff was, some of these items were donated, so we'll talk about our sponsors over there on the islands. But please take your bucket with you, because I really don't want to take them to Bimini for you. And also take one of those deck mats, whether you want to use it on your boat, at home, in the kitchen, front door.
It'd be nice to use on the dock when you're part
Yeah,
of the-
yeah, it'd be nice to use on the dock, so on and so forth. So, I'll bring a screw gun, we could screw it down so nobody steals them.
How much of the stuff has to be filled out and emailed in first or something? Submitted to the Bahamas?
So, the original paper that I showed you, the original page, you need to go on that. They're not gonna accept any paper. Yeah. That's coming back. ROMAP is coming back into the United States, hang on.
Going into Bimini, you need to load ahead of time your COVID test.
Oh, this isn't my
and your,
computer.
vaccine.
Sorry, Haley, that was yours. I was just trying, I don't know what I did, but.
You don't load your passport online ahead of time, right?
No, you just carry your passport, but the original page that I had showed you, that I put up, that's what you have to go on to. It's immigration in Bimini, Bahamas, and you put everything in right there now. They don't want paperwork. They don't want to handle the paperwork. you know,
Everything gets just.
everything is
downloaded,
electric,
huh?
yeah, electronic.
I went in March and they had this policy in place. I missed the memo about uploading it ahead of time. I had my printed off copy. Thankfully, where I was, the fuel dock that I was, they gave me the time to log into the snail file that they had and upload it there. It took me 2 hours to upload the
Be up in a
information
minute.
at the fuel dock there versus if I had been here, it would have taken me about 5 minutes. I'd take a picture with my phone, do the whole fun stuff, so. That was the only thing I had to do online.
So you recommend that one, what, 5 days in advance, right now?
Well, you can't do it more than 5 days. So when you go on this website,
Hold on, now, if you're vaccinated and you have a vaccine, you can do that. But if you're like me and you're gonna get a negative test,
has to be done
then it has to be within 5 days of your trip.
Okay.
Immigration.gov.bs.
Yes, all that.
you go to this website, Bahamas Immigration, and you go through the windows applying to stay, and you know, you'll go through, you'll pick out what you're doing as a guest, as a visitor. So right here, you put in all your information, you put in your PCR test, you put in your vaccination, if you had it. You can put in your boat information, everything you need, your passport information will go on here too. Gets transmitted to them within a 5-day period. They approve it, you're good to go, you print your approval. When you go upstairs, hand them your approval, hand them your money, adios. So,
How much money do you recommend we bring?
How much time are you spending at the casino?
yeah, well,
Besides
yeah. So I'll send out an email. What's today? Thursday. We'll send out an email on Monday, and I'll go through the different sizes of boats and people and what it's going to cost per person.
What about the gas? Is with credit card or is cash?
You could use your credit card there. Here's the problem with credit card at the gas dock: is electricity there has been kind of sketchy. You didn't do this, but they have new generators there. So I'm told that the power issue has been solved, which over the past few years it's been off and on. But you know, you show up at the gas dock, need gas, and you got a credit card, and the machine's not working, well, you got a problem. So bring some extra. There's relatively no crime there. There's safes in the room. Staying on your boat, lock it up, carry it with you, but bring cash in case you do need fuel or anything else. I mean, it's a smart thing to do. 2 years ago, there wasn't anybody on the dock to help out, but you know, if they do have dock staff, you know, some of the local kids will come around, tie up your boat, wash it if you want. If they're gonna wash your boat, pay them. Make sure that they don't keep that water running because they probably get a backside from the dock. So, you know, be careful with that. I take a picture of the meter when I get there. So, yeah, sorry. I grew up in New York. What can I tell you?
Minor derail.
Yeah.
Can everybody see the person standing next to me? If you cannot see the person next to me, get where you can see the person next to me. This is Anthony Rodriguez. He is our master technician that will be joining us. He will be available to help you out in case of an emergency. Please don't call him at 2 o'clock in the morning because your toilet's backed up. It is, it's emergencies for going to and fro. During the day, he's happy to help you with what he's there for. So Anthony Rodriguez, he will be your best friend.
Hopefully not.
He will be on the chase boat, he will be on the last boat, so he will be making sure that everybody arrives safely. And he will be the last one to be pulling into the marina.
Are we meeting outside the channel or are we meeting inside?
So great question. If it's a 1 to 3 day, 5 mile per hour winds, we'll meet at the outer marker buoy, which is about 1.5 miles, 1 3/4 offshore. So a big red buoy out there. We'll meet there. If it's kind of gnarly out, we'll meet on the inside, as long as we don't get kicked out by the local.
Longer away from my house.
Come on.
I was going to leave at 7.
That's 7:05.
6:45. Now if I'm going to be at the outer buoy,
Yeah.
I'm going to be leaving at 6.
Phil, you got good range on your VHF. You can check in from wherever the hell you want to, and then catch up.
Right.
Yeah, I'm right behind you.
You're on the dock?
It's a great boat. You'll
Throttle
slow
down from that point.
In hard copy?
8 o'clock, yes, 8 o'clock at that point.
Form, I don't think is on here. I think you can use that form, but it looks really small.
You could use that for.
Yeah, in hard copy.
I believe.
Or is it online also?
That should be online also. I'm not filling out any paper. I'm doing all mine 5 days before online. I'm happy to not go with any paper. Who went last year? Were you on my boat last year? No, you were on the other boat. Somebody took the paper out of my stack, and it took me 4 hours to get through immigration because I had to go back and forth to redo it. So
Is this considered North Bimini or South Bimini?
North Bimini. Yeah. There's really nothing on South Bimini. There's Shark Research Centers on South Bimini and one or two other little spots, but there's really nothing. Everything you need should be on this website that's up here. Everything, soup to nuts. They don't want to handle paper these days. They have nowhere to store it. They don't want COVID if it's coming in that way. They've decided to go this route, and I think it's a great thing. So, let's. Yeah. Hotel, you got to wear masks. So what did we do? Everybody's getting buffs. We made up some nice SunDance buffs. They're in your buckets. Please take your buckets when you leave, but you can wear those. You can wear a traditional mask, whatever you want to do. But I don't know. I did it.
Sitting down, just like here, just like it used to be here. If you're sitting down, you can take your mask off.
Okay.
But if you're going in between tables and up to the cashier and all your chips, then you have to put your mask on.
Yeah, he was there more recently than I was, so.
2 weeks ago, and they wanted us to keep the mask on at the table.
Really?
They were painting the ass about that.
It may change by August 1st. So I will speak to my friend over there, Phil, when he gets back next week. So wait until Saturday. He gave me the update on everything else that changed, so I knew there'd be some regulations coming along. We'll see what happens. And by August 1st, it's 2 weeks away. Could be a different deal altogether. I mean, we're going, but could be no mask. Could be, they're throwing out $100 bills to us. I don't know. So.
Is this for the marina?